4 speed paints today. I'm sick, so don't mind my voice. Hopefully this music is setting the mood. Anyways, I'm doing rendering of the skin for Miss Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I will admit a lot of it I had to fix, and with all of these speed paints you will find that I had to fix things constantly. Sadly enough, that is the reality. Oh my god, there's a squirrel, but that's the reality of being a digital artist. Crikey, I see a squirrel. Crikey, there's a wild squirrel in a tree. Crikey. Crikey, there's a wild squirrel in its natural habitat in a tree. Now I'm just doing more face rendering, and I'm also moving things around. Oh my god. Also, random story time. When I was in high school, I was in a drama class, and when we were in drama, there was this really specific monologue last assignment that we had to do. And originally, I wanted to do the monologue from Hereditary when the mom is like yelling at her son and she's like, "Don't you disrespect me, you little beep." But since it was school, I wasn't allowed to. I asked my teacher. I was very confident. I was like, "Hey, but what if? What if I actually did this? I'll put my all into it, actually." And then secondly, I wanted to do a monologue from The Great Gatsby when Daisy's talking about how hard it is to be a woman. So I was like, oh, that's not that bad, and there's no swears. I should be able to work out. But I was told that there was an insufficient amount of lines, so I wasn't able to do it because I couldn't contort it into a monologue, not a monologue. Oh my goodness. So I went to my best friend and she told me her favorite film was Pride and Prejudice. So I took a monologue from Pride and Prejudice and I did it for her sake. When I tell you that everyone was applauding on their knees, I was the center of attention, okay? And I gave my lines to a fellow classmate and I told her if I mess up at all, just kind of give me a little signal, kind of just like wave at me or just tell me out loud what the line is. She did not have to do it once. And I have like really bad anxiety. I was practicing for days and hours to the point where it was burned into my memory. And how I know it was burned into my memory is because my teacher, because like not the whole class was there when I presented and I was doing my whole performance, the teacher rounded up some of the people who weren't there and she was like, "Oh, do you remember the lines?" And I did like half of it from my memory. No reliance on lines, no reliance on anything. Honestly, I'm kind of flexing a little bit. I'm a very good actress, thank you. And if you weren't paying attention, I finished rendering Elvira, and now I'm rendering the skeleton that's beside her, and then I'm gonna do the background. Now I'm gonna do a second story time because there's a lot of like a video footage that I have to talk over. So whenever I give advice to new artists, I always tell them to have a commission website or a portfolio link that they can send to their potential clients. And I'm gonna tell you why. This is what not to do. This is how I got scammed as a newly fresh just starting artist. Also, mind you, I have terrible time perception. This is maybe like a year or two ago, maybe 3, I have no idea. So when I was first starting commissions, I would give all my potential clients my PayPal because a lot of commissioners just use PayPal because it's easier. And I was talking to this client through Discord and I was told that they wanted to pay for full price before I even started the commission, which was like $40-50. Long story short, I was told from my client that their money had got stuck in the system and that I had to use my own money to refund them, and then they would send me the money again, like to retry the payment. So as a new artist, I trusted and believed this client, which led to my money being taken and then me being ghosted. So this is why I tell new artists to use a link. And you might be wondering, a link? Well, that's not going to really help anything. Why would I use a link? A lot of scammers will ask for your PayPal, And sometimes it feels like they're bots and they'll just constantly ask for your PayPal regardless of what you say, so that's also something I look out for. But having a commission website or a portfolio link that you can send to your potential clients is easier, so you don't really have to explain anything because it's already there and they can find everything within the link. But I've had scammers become very aggressive or upset with me, and they'll be like, no, I use PayPal, and then I'll be like, well, Ko-fi accepts PayPal, so you can still pay me. But their intention was to never pay you, that's why they're constantly re-asking this question, and that's why I like to use links to avoid this. But if you have any suggestions for new artists, be sure to leave it in the comments below.